So WWE 2K22 has been a financial success for Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two had their earnings call. We're going to go through that and the information we have regarding 2K23 status. Let's get into the news right now. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Matt. Great to have you here. Let's talk 2K22 and 2K23. I know, it seems early. It seems like we just finished up the last DLC with the whole damn pack. Barely been out, but here we are nonetheless. According to Take-Two's second earnings call that happened on Monday, WWE 2K22 was one of the main contributors to the company's overall success in Q1. And WWE 2K22 contributed to the company's 1 billion in units sold for Q1 2022. Take-Two also mentioned during the call that WWE 2K22 was the most successful game in the WWE 2K series since the company took over the license back in 2013. I find this point very interesting. Let me know your thoughts on this because we had that gap between 2K20 and 2K22, and I'm kind of surprised that the numbers are so strong for 2K22. It's good. It's not groundbreaking. It's got a ton of updates and fixes it still needs. Better than 20? Yes. But what do you think about the reasons why it is so much better and outperforming all the previous years? Is it interest in the product overall for WWE? Is it that we're coming out of big COVID shutdown and for the last couple of years, fans have just been craving new wrestling game in general? Do you think that maybe it's just due to the fact that we did have about 2 years of a gap between 2K20 and 22, and so you are getting the most amount of eyeballs on this one game? But I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Brandon Thurston has a great write-up and a post on Twitter regarding the business side and Take-Two Interactive's overall performance. Brandon writes the following: during fiscal first quarter 2023, total net bookings grew 41% to $1 billion as compared to the $711.4 million during last year's fiscal first quarter. Net bookings from recurrent consumer spending grew 48% and accounted for 73% of total net bookings. Digitally delivered net bookings were up 41% to $956 million as compared to $680.4 million in last fiscal year's first quarter, and accounted for 95% of total net bookings. The largest contributors to net bookings were NBA 2K22, Grand Theft Auto Online, and Grand Theft Auto 5, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Empires and Puzzles, Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Online, 2K22, Rollic's Hyper Casual Portfolio, The Quarry, Toon Blast, and Top 11. Now, maybe we're asking and wondering why were the numbers up so much? Having total net bookings grow 41% to $1 billion instead of just over $700 million in the previous year, I think a lot of it has to do with COVID and the timing of things. That's just my personal opinion. Players across games that play 2K games were looking for new titles to come out. A lot of games, regardless of platform, regardless of publisher and developer, had been pushed back for so long. So I think you are seeing a little bit of an increase in terms of fans' interest in playing a lot of different games, getting new updates, getting additional content out, and a big blast and push by Take-Two Interactive, updating their games, releasing new content, releasing new titles right around Q4 and Q1 of 2022. Interesting too that digital sales are up overall for Take-Two Interactive as opposed to last year. Once again, having everyone stuck at home possibly contributed to that, where people don't have access to be able to go into brick and mortar stores and buy video games. A lot of them are confined and having to purchase digitally. And maybe it's just more of an increase in the market overall where people are just going to play more digital titles and download more digitally. How did you get 2K22? Did you go physical or did you end up going digital this year? Now, speaking about 2K23, Take-Two mentioned 2K23 with a fiscal 2023 year release. This does mean that the game will arrive, at least as of right now, no later than March 31st, 2023. And that's when the company's fiscal year would end. We had speculated before about when we think we could see 2K23 get released. Would we see the traditional October-November window? My opinion and perspective was that it's way too close to 2K22 as we've just wrapped up the last bit of DLC. I mean, if we were looking at October, we're just a few months away and we've heard a pin drop about the next title. I think it's safe to say that 2K would go down this continued path of releasing annually, maybe unfortunately annually, the 2K franchise for WWE, but putting it around WrestleMania season, I think that time period, frankly, is a better idea. Assuming there's no delays in the game I think March is a great window. You have the most hype out of wrestling fans in general right around the Royal Rumble season to WrestleMania. Why not produce it at that time? WWE 2K22 released on March the 8th of 2022. I think there's a very good chance we see next year's game release right at the exact same spot in the exact same time period. That would mean, though, if we're talking about, well, when could we start hearing about the next year's title? My hope is 2K does not go too quiet with 2K23. I think if you are building off of 2K22, the engine, the redesigns, the modes that we know currently today, if we're expanding on that into next year's title, I think you want to start showing fans again some snippets, teaser trailer reveals right around maybe late September to October. Last year, I vaguely recall when we started getting trailers, it was sparse in terms of updates and the information they were dropping. They were doing the dev diaries, but we didn't get those until after January. We started receiving updates. I hope 2K does not do the exact same approach with this and devs don't do the same approach. I hope that if we're going to be able to avoid any crazy changes to the game, because I think there was a lot of switching and navigation by the devs last minute on 2K22 where they couldn't reveal as much as they wanted to, or maybe the game wasn't even polished enough and ready to go. If 2K23 is building off of the foundation of 22, should put them in a healthier position to be able to release more details to us sooner rather than later. So my anticipation is that we see some reveals and updates. Again, September to November, we get some more updates. Let me know your thoughts on 2K23. 2K22 performed well. I still need double title entrances. How about you? See you on the next episode. Bye.